Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, here of Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Langraskaya. Between in the south, we got BeardofSocrates fighting here for the United States of America for the 1st Armored Division with infantry, mechanized, and heavy cavalry. Versus the north, we got Jove fighting for the Wehrmacht. Deutschland, it's a Panzerlehr Panzerdivision with lightning roll, mechanized assault, and elite troops. He's got bullets for infantry and stormtroopers, whereas BeardofSocrates got for Jacksons, Pershings, and infantry. Note both here are for increased penetration. He takes no chances against the Kraut's armor. We got an MD-42 start here for Jove with an infantry company, so there'll probably be some grenadiers. Or is he actually going for a very early sniper there? Looks like he is. Versus BeardofSocrates with just some standard infantry openings there. Spreading out, going west and centre, and probably east as well. Or probably just west, that's also an option. They're of course focusing very hard on the west there, grabbing what's on one side of the road. On a map like Langraskaya, the map tends to be a pretty common divider as to how many players will play the map, really. Going munitions there, wiring off, he'll probably go for the munitions and then to the fuel. Some players like to take the other route, but some players just like to play it more efficiently, a bit more riskily though. Go straight for the munitions and then straight for the fuel. That way you'll get both munitions and fuel. Of course, that well, in this case, of course, it does have a few sort of disadvantages. You can see if your opponent, of course, sort of plays up pretty aggressively, can be forced to push off there, and that means your fuel acquisition will be a bit slowed down. BeardofSocrates pushing pretty hard now towards the center with more riflemen, so trying to attack for some points. Pioneers doubling back, and MD-42 setting up there. Meanwhile, Rierson continues to the west. We got the sniper out here for Jove, hoping to bleed out those bloody Americans. Rifle under fire there from the MD-42. Pioneers getting to the building again, wants to ensure that the riflemen can't sneak up, sort of surprise them, and of course deny the building to Jove. Meanwhile, though, BeardofSocrates got nothing like that, man. He's actually taking here a very sort of circuitous path, staying at the very edge here, trying to creep up and sort of conduct a deep flank on Jove. Not bad at all. Trying to avoid the straight path here. He's going for the fuel point. Jove reveals his sniper and opens up there on one of those unfortunate riflemen, leaving poor Joe there to die amongst the tall grass. Of course, what he's also trying to do, of course, is avoid the MD-42, which roughly has about range to, well, here, roughly. But in this case, looks like he's decided to pull off. And wait, we got here mechanized doctrine choice. He might actually try and catch a sniper with the dart truck here filled with a lot of riflemen. That's definitely one option, and particularly in the early game, since Jove has got otherwise nothing to really screen the sniper with. So this could actually work out for BeardofSocrates, though it is going to be a bit risky. I mean, one wrong move would rather give him some problems. They're trying to catch a sniper. Truck rushing ahead. They need to catch some good speed here, otherwise Joe is just going to hit retreat before it gets too close, of course, to get away. In this case, he takes a sort of more direct path rather than, say, trying an arcing path, trying to cut off the retreat here of the sniper. Either way, though, catching him with a 50 caliber rifle firing away, there's a good chance of catching the sniper. Grenadiers are not retreating here. Oh dear, this could be a huge loss for Jove here in the early minutes. And there we go, sniper down. A bold, aggressive play, though, BeardofSocrates, which did pay off. And of course, right here, he's just going to rush straight into some Grenadiers with a Panzerfaust. So that's going to be less grand. And there you go, almost lost the entire rifle squad there. If that happened, and there's actually a small chance that the side of half track or any other sort of transport vehicle can be entirely wiped out, that would, I think, rather have more than made off for the loss of the sniper there for Jove. But ultimately, though, that did not happen. Jove is now down a unit and 360 manpower in the early game. The sniper did not manage to do much. Such a considerable loss here for Jove. And in the early game, that kind of loss can really set a player back here. Of course, he got the truck, but the truck isn't quite there. In some sense, it's still a bit expensive, but not manpower-wise. So, of course, it will hurt taking a bit there for BeardofSocrates. But again, considering how much damage a sniper could have done to him, I'm pretty sure he's feeling confident that's going to be a good trade-off there for BeardofSocrates. Captain on the way, pretty standard. He's worried, of course, about any vehicles. Joe here goes for elite troops. Joe has recently shown a fondness for elite troops, and certainly it is a doctrine that's certainly seeing a lot more popularity as people realise, its potency. And of course, that stormtroopers just are good. In that sense, elite troops is a bit easier to use than encirclement doctrine. And no, Joe actually goes for another sniper. Jove here is definitely very intent on having a sniper then. That's going to be another manpower setback for him. Though, of course, BeardofSocrates might not quite go for the same counter again, so try and deal with the sniper. Quick, there we go, concussive grenade off there, or standard grenade there really. Since the initial grenade there, the Model 24 was just a concussive grenade, it had no fragmentive ability and actually had to have sleeve applied to it to actually be able to sort of, well, you know, do further damage that way. Rather than need to fall back in the face of the Grenadiers and the infantry reactions pushed back. So right here, Jove actually shifted away from the east towards the west here and pulled off a bit of a fast trick there. There's a speed of Socrates. I do not think he was expecting the MD42 to switch towards there. Rather than moving up here though, pressuring Jove's eastern flank. Being a bit more vulnerable. There we go, we got another sniper. Captain is out here for BeardofSocrates, but what will he do? We just try to run down the sniper. Will he go for another dart truck? Or will he try and go for the steward right away as quickly as possible and then try and deal with the sniper that way? In that sense, the options here for BeardofSocrates are plenty. And again, at the same time as all of this is happening, Jove is sort of trying to push around the cutoff point and lock it down as much as he can. So Jove here pulling a fast one on BeardofSocrates, and so far it seems to be working there, getting a bit of vengeance there for the loss of the sniper, trying to catch that one. There we go. Could see wipe there, could see wipe there. He's not careful. The sniper is a nasty little bastard. And there goes. He's going to have to retreat the rifleman. There's just no way the sniper can. Well, the rifle can keep doing it on their own. He's trying though, and he lost the rifle score there. That I think was a bit of Socrates pushing his luck there, far beyond what it actually could bear.
We can now build light the capture point is under attack.
So that was rather unfortunate there, I think, for BeardofSocrates. A bit of a poor move, and of course now trying to shift away towards these, giving up on the west here, where again Jove has quickly been locking things down. And he's just going, you know, there's a large open space towards these there. I shall take this instead, and I shall make it my America, and make it great. Or something like that. Now I can't rush down the sniper again with more rifling with a captain. Sniper there, perhaps a bit too survivable without any support considering everything. Like the Meganos company going up there for Jove. Troops trying grabbing territory there further, but still he's managed to grab territory here. So now we got a bit of a rarer setup here for the Langrosskaya. It's much rarer. We actually see the more direct north or west-east split, right? Usually again it's sort of along the road, not like this. So this is a bit interesting to see. There we go, more rifling. And the steward there for BeardofSocrates will probably utilize to catch the sniper. And of course the question is, what will Joe be thinking he's going up against? I mean, he's seen the captain, so he's probably expecting his steward, and that means he'll probably go for the pack 40. I mean, he could go for 2-2s, but it's going to require several and some Grenadiers cooperating with them, so they have a good chance of stopping a steward light tank. Also, one thing to consider is BeardofSocrates has got plenty of munitions. He could try now and go for some weapon racks, get some BARs up, further pressure the German infantry and whatnot. Instead, we've got a fighting position going to hold the centre. Interesting, interesting. Steward almost done. He's going to have to cancel it here. So he lost a bit of attempt there controlling the centre of the map. MD42 remaining there. Of course, he could push it out with the Steward light tank. Pack 40 on the way for Jove. So far, that rather follows standard play. So far, no use of the doctrine besides a single stun grenade there from Jove. No G. Oh, there we go. G43s actually. Otherwise, I'd say no stormtroopers. Gives them the fire there from the MD42. Steward rolling ahead. Going to use that to flush out the MD42. In this case, he pops in the Grenadiers, parked just in another building. Oh, poor shoulder. Just poorly, but also ensure that Steward can't just rush after easily either. Of course, then eventually, you know, the Grenadiers just popping out a door and then panzerfasten the Steward. So he has to take a longer route, and even then, you know, looks like he might just not can try just to get the Grenadiers wiped. That's also an option there for BeardofSocrates. Might not quite be an MD42. But a Grenadier wipe would also been pretty good there for BeardofSocrates and the Americans. But now, of course, again, map once more shifting sides. That is the third time the map sees sort of a, well, second time really, that the map sees such a huge swing there in map control within 10 minutes. So there's some highly mobile play going on between these two players, each trying to sort of outpace the other and outmaneuver the other boss and that way get him. But so far, it's been to some extent, it's Joe that have been calling the shots here. No matter how much BeardofSocrates are trying to push it, though again with the Steward now, he should have a good chance, though he does need to be careful of pack 40s. Jove is a sharp player, and of course with the captain scene, I mean, BeardofSocrates probably should be expecting some kind of heavier response there to the Steward light tank, so he has to be careful there with the Steward. One wrong move, and it could easily up being a burning ball of fire. And there we go, right into the pack 40 here. He's got access to half tracks, refits, air reconnaissance, which will also allow him to suss out the positions there of Jove, maybe hunt down his sniper that way. Need to repair the Steward though. Losing control here, but actually right now BeardofSocrates does have a fuel advantage over Jove. And there we go, we got the first stormtrooper squad. Nothing going on in the base, just going to do a quick check. And here we go, occupying the building, denying it to the Americans, and getting the ever handy Sturmgewehrs. Pack out on later for BeardofSocrates, help to deal with the artillery, the MDs, probably also try and catch a sniper with that. Captain out in the open. Captain dead out in the open. There's taking some minor losses of bazooka impacts with Jurgen's sternum, cracking it, and several vital organs. Going points there. Going for the Coh point as well. Stormtroopers remaining inside the house there. Sturmgewehr almost done. Stewart rolling ahead. Packard's almost done. Of course, use the captain to further rush ahead. By this point, not much there. And another option here for now. It's also considers actually going for a second Stewart. We're trying to strike Jove here with a lot of light tanks. So of course, we'll have to see how that actually goes here. What BeardofSocrates' decision making will be against Jove. Packard's being pulled up was primarily used by mountain divisions and airborne, since they overall needed some light artillery. They could more easily moved around there. So that's a little detail there. Germans had something similar for their Gebirgsdivisionen, and the paratroops made similarly use of that version, I believe, which is basically just an Infanteriegeschütz without the gun shield, really. Fun fact. Stuart sitting out there, Rifleman supporting. No consideration so far for weapon rack again. BARs right now would really give BeardofSocrates a push here versus Jove's infantry, and Jove is actually adding an additional stormtroopers, which would really make things difficult for just regular riflemen. And he's flying back there against the riflemen. Stuart moving about. Pack howitzer opening up. Shot fire. And he's doing with the Campac bottoming up. Sniper, stormtroopers all moving in. Stormtroopers still hiding here in the brushes, ready to sort of cut down any Americans up close to get too close with the tactical advance. No, looks like he's deciding against. He's going, perhaps sensing. No. Briefly looked like he was going to go for the Coh point again, trying to sort of pull back BeardofSocrates. I'm going to say he's not going to hit the flank. There we go, catching the rifle out next to cover in the middle of the road. Could go for tactical advance here, but still without it, he's still doing a lot of damage up this close. Rifleman taking heavy cash, but there you go. Rifleman captain moving in. Stormtrooper might have to fall back soon. Almost got the Rifleman running through the ditch though. Poor Tommy makes it back alive. Stormtrooper's going to lose out in the open, taking losses there from the Steward and other bits. The Rifleman captain moving ahead, but already losses have been inflicted. Steward has done damage. Oh, Sniper has done damage. Pack out of firing. Steward's looming up there. Go Pack 40 opens up on the Steward. Steward has to fall back. There are lots of resource blood for BeardofSocrates. Steward getting out of their veterans. One Rifleman retreating. Captain also pulling back. Bit of engagement there, they didn't go much for anywhere, but at the same time, this might in fact all have been a big diversion for Jove to sneak up some minor infantry units towards the west there, in which case, well played by Jove. Though, of course, BeardofSocrates floating a lot of resources at the moment does mean he's got less to sort of run on the field. He's planning for the major, there we go, but still he's got resources. He could still go for weapon racks, he could go for something else. Ooh, he's going for, there we go, weapon racks. That will mean a lot of money can now be invested into bazookas and BARs, so primarily BARs here would really give him a lot of punch there versus Jove, but allow him to focus on quickly catch the sniper and wiping out. Of course, also deal with other elements. Rears opening up in the Grenadiers, still moving towards the west, needs to be repaired though, in a pretty poor condition. Would be rather senseless of BeardofSocrates to throw that further into the fighting. Troops reinforcing, Major on the way slowly. And there we go, BARs being handed out there, double BAing up. Which again means Jove's now, or BeardofSocrates' now riflemen are pretty heavily equipped there. That is a lot of firepower, though technically I think only a rifle squad would have had like one BAR max. Fun fact. Still, that's a lot of firepower there for the American riflemen. Major out, so he's probably going to go for armor sooner than later. Jove has yet to take up, he has invested rather heavily into the tier 1, tier 2 here. Storms, of course, adding quite a bit of potency. He's even gone for a punch shot there, following up with the G43 for the Stormtroopers would be good. Captain Rock moving ahead, there we got Grenadiers holding up, no weapons to support them. Pioneers have laid down a mine, good work. There's caught in there, it's getting shredded. I mean, a bit of a horde assault could have spread out, it's been a bit further, but there you go, Grenadiers getting hung down there on retreat. Good tier wipe there, good tier wipe, Pack out to firing as well. Very close, low health. Wipe definitely seems very possible here, very possible. There we go, down to one man, Jurgen is running for it. Can he make it? Can he make it? High school sprinter, Jurgen runs for it. Wasn't enough though, tried to run the American war machine in this case. So that's a wipe against Joe, following up with the replacement Grenadiers. Still needs to get out there before he gets knocked out here, but the Panzer Abwehrkanone finally taken up there as well. Though I suspect BeardofSocrates might just hit the armor sooner, though again Joe's quickly managed to turn around the fuel advantage. Controlling the fuel point there, doing all that fighting in the centre. Getting that sort repaired. Replacement Grenadiers there arriving for Jove and Sir Panzerlehr. Mine spotted, gonna quick deal with that. Otherwise that could have easily been one steward knocked out there. Nice attempt there by Jove. Stormtrooper still hiding here, still waiting for targets to appear incautiously, to only to be gunned down in the open. Bit of sniper fire here. 22 kills. Need to get back in the steward. Right now the east is actually surprisingly open. Beard of Socrates could have a he's going to make for a head on all assault trains, grenadiers, stormtroopers. Now also equipped with G43s besides the Panther Shrek. Further increasing their anti-infantry. Pack out to flank. Oh! Bunch up infantry! There we go. Good hit, forcing both squads to retreat. And to tank around here for Beard of Socrates while waiting for the tank, he's probably got no illusions that Jove, is not going to have out some armor pretty soon as well. And in that sense, the captain is just not going to cut it. There goes upon co-op. Stormtroopers now rushing for the centre, perhaps sensing weakness there. Jove goes forward, catches the anti-tank, not anti-tank, but the pack out here, quickly cutting down its crew with its assault rifles. Veterans who on there, Stewart at the flank in. Stormtrooper caught a bit of an awkward position. Pack 40 misses the Stewart, pack out wiped out. Stormtroopers that almost wiped out as well. Huge loss here for Jove, that happens. So if we can't get the Stewart in return there. He's really pushing it. Oh! Bit of luck there on both sides, but Jove definitely got lucky with those stormtroopers there. That could easily have been a full wipe there. That would certainly change things up. Also almost got the sniper there with the... So, I mean, very close there for Jove on several occasions. Still going to need some repairs. Beard of Socrates still close to the tanks, but at the same time Jove just needs a bit of manpower. He can call up some armor of his own, in which case Beard of Socrates is going to be out of trouble. But he needs to try and break out, and right now the east again is probably one of the better spots to do so. Need to recruit the pack out. We got a BAR drop there as well. Bad news there for Beard of Socrates. Steward fully going again. Veterans, it's almost within range, within grasp. Pack cards are crew there wiped out, but they're going to be equipped with G43s and a BAR. And to tank and Fang was not allowed to just shoot only armor, giving it away. Its precision, of course, its resistance there to Jove would be unfortunate. Pack 40 moving up, Steward needs to pull back, rifleman force there. Van using Browning automatic rifles, they're almost getting wiped out. Close there. Bombarding in the house with anti-tank controls. Telemine going up here. Is it S-mines behind? No, it is a telemine there. Using the gunner's trying by time. We got the stormtroopers moving about here as well. Closing on efficiency 2. Cancels the telemine. Perhaps realises he might just get spotted anyways. Troops reinforcing. Ever closer to that show. In fact, he can call it in now. Jove is yet to call in a Panzer IV, but he could have. Come on. Beard of Socrates calling the Sherman. Of course, Jove call in a Panzer or some Stooks or some Austrians. Just call in something. Oh, so close there, so close that he would have taken the bait, but still ended up doing it, actually taking a hit there from the concussor grenade. How unfortunate for Beard of Socrates. Suiton's going to need some repairs. Come on, get that tank out, there we go, good. At the same time though, Joe begins calling in his Panzer IV, Beard of Socrates still has got manpower to spare, and calls in an ambulance. Also needs to crew that pack howitzer. Just pulling back here. Both front lines a bit sort of short here. We got several stormtroopers squads waiting here in ambush, ready to deal with anything that advances a bit too far up the western flank and end its lives in a matter of moments. While the east again is surprisingly quiet. Sherman Panzer almost down. Of course, he could rush the Sherman out there with his captain, giving a bit of an early arm advantage over Joe, though of course it would be pretty small. Either way, ambulance arrives there, sniper waiting, Pack 40 covering the centre as well. Stormtrooper still hiding behind some bits of wood. And there you go, Beard of Socrates finds moving towards the east here. Finally striking away.
Tank support is here.
There you go, Sherman out, and Panzer IV out. Both sides bringing up their armour. This is in fact time here for the mid-game analysis. In terms of damage, Jove is ahead. In terms of kills, Jove is ahead here. So in that sense, Beard of Socrates is a bit behind again. The sniper really can rack up a lot of kills if you're not careful. And if it had been for that sniper, they'd probably been a lot closer to each other kill-wise. And damage-wise, again, it's because he's had that Steward out and he's just taken so much damage. I mean, again, damage-wise, this is a bit inflated due to the presence of the Steward, which again has soaked up a lot of damage, and thus, put that up and up. And in terms of army value, again, Beard of Socrates is ahead here compared to Jove, though again, Jove is sort of following up quickly there with the Panzer IV. So in that sense, it's not doing too badly. Resource float again has been a bit of a problem, and points held wise again much closer. Though again, Jove is now a bit ahead here. BeardofSocrates needs to pick up and sort of get back in the fight there. And again, it's been in part because he's rather than focus around here, not try to hit the eastern side on the map so hard there in that sense. Jove has been rather successful as a Valorant player in dictating the pace and the fighting of the match here, which does give him a bit of an advantage. Of course, you can sort of tell his opponent where to attack and so on, and of course not directly, but rather indirectly. That gives BeardofSocrates a few challenges to sort of consider. And he's got to focus on the artillery barracks, which can, I think, quickly call in. So, I mean, there's some consideration there to make. You know, if you can sort of pull off a good assault there, catch the Pack 40 with the artillery strike while fighting's going on elsewhere, he might just be able to clear out the Pack 40 and then sort of take the centre, perhaps even catching the sniper and wiping that one out. Such an assault, I think, would require an assault up for here on the right flank, first drawing attention towards there, then a push towards the centre, overwhelming here, perhaps a bit of fighting on the west just to draw in troops from the west there, ensuring that the centre is weak again, all the support weapons, all the weak, you know, more easily overwhelmed units can sort of be left there and sort of quickly overrun, perhaps stealing some weapons, but otherwise just denying them to Jove. That might just work out there for BeardofSocrates. Again, it would be risky and would require a lot going on at the same time. So obviously, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be flawless or anything like that, but it's an option there to consider for BeardofSocrates. Otherwise, he should probably aim for more armor and get that Pack out of firing again. But he needs to try and draw more fighting towards here, and if possible, needs to wipe out that bloody sniper, which again is really causing him trouble. As for Jove, more armor as soon as possible, good. More pressure on the west side of the flank, and he wants to keep preventing from pushing up to here. He wants to keep him within his own side of the map. He wants to grab territory, he wants to deny him fuel, and he wants to bleed him out. So if you can sort of pressure more here, good. Maybe it's enough, the strikes here towards the cut-off point. That would be very good. Of course, another option is to build up some armor and then actually attack here, knocking out the bunkers, and then begin attacking the base, forcing BeardofSocrates then to have to consider defending in this part as well, which again is a very small strip of territory, which again could result in his base being knocked out if he doesn't. So there's a lot there also to consider for Joe in terms of potential and possibilities. Would probably not recommend going for the next phase, instead just going for more Panzer IVs and Slugs, perhaps an Ostwind. So let's return to the fight and see what happens. Major there being suppressed by the MD-42. Stormstorming down there with Pioneer and Grenadier support. Still ready to deflect that somewhat, of course with Sherman supporting better. Pack out of firing away. MD-42 pushing at Sniper, Panzer IV rolling out. Sherman anti-tank and firing away, there we go. Stormstormer under fire to it already, drawing in the Panzer VI there. Panzer IV rhyming as well, anti-tank gun, ET suited armour, come on Beard. Stuns rounds, oh, good. Need to repair the Stuart though. House almost collapsed, Panzer IV slightly pulling back, Rifleman Captain moving ahead here. Joe pulling off an assault here before BeardofSocrates can. Storm's getting away, artillery raining down. Almost got them. We actually got here armor detection going on, allowing him to sort of keep track of BeardofSocrates' armor here on the main map, making it harder for BeardofSocrates then to surprise him with these fast maneuvers. Good work there. Panzer IV though almost down, less than half health here. There's actually a bit of a problem there for Job. BeardofSocrates Sherman moving ahead there. Storm's taking losses. Pack 40 moving up here, but at the same time there's nothing coming. The MD-42 is far away, and there's only Sniper Grenadiers and the Panzer IV. Looks like in this case he's not going to push straight in there. He's just going to clear out the west here of any Germans. Blobbing up those, spread out your men. BeardofSocrates, spread out your men. Aerial reconnaissance called in, allowing you to keep track there where Joe's moving back. MD-42 moving back here towards the centre to help support it up. Pack howitzer, anti-tank gun up, moving up, stood ready. Going into the base here with the Sherman, almost got the Grenadiers there. Pack 40 shoots. Damn close there, damn close. Rifle now charging forward. MD-42 they're ready now to break up this assault. Need to spread out your men. BeardofSocrates, spread out. Panzer IV opening up. MD-42 soon will sending armor piercing around there as well. Armor piercing explosive round. All the way around, taking heavy casualties. ATCS pushing anything to get that sniper Pack out of firing. Need to pull back those riflemen. BeardofSocrates, retreat. Oh, he's calling in artillery straight on the point here. A bold attempt, I think a bit of waste there. Bit of waste. Got the medic, bunker, Panzer IV, or Sherman moving in here. Opening up for the Pack 40 and the Panzer X though. BeardofSocrates here, I think, misjudged the situation. Sherman almost down.
Coh2 just got wiped out.
At the same time, assaulted, clearing out the Pack howitzer again. I mean, he was sort of doomed. Yes, the problem was the way he did it. Rather gave Joe more time to actually bring up his defences rather than being all separate. They were sort of more clumped up together, minimising the shock effect, allowing him not to focus on easily overwhelm the Pack 40, which is one of his bigger issues, or say the MD-42 there. So that was not quite as well executed there from BeardofSocrates, in part because, well, Job attacked first, marking up any potential attack plans there for BeardofSocrates. Storm coming up the west again, spearheading the assault there for the Wehrmacht. Almost ready to join the assault rifle chaps. Sniper pack and MD42 covering the centre. Osman on the way here for Jove. A bit of added anti-infantry. Armour being repaired here. Sherman and Stewart. Literally 2 there. 16 kills. Not bad. Not bad. Going up the east again. Now there's MD42 to pull away to help cover the centre. The eastern side of the map is now incredibly open. Full armoured assault here. Joe's stormtroopers waiting here, trying to avoid or ambush. Stormtroopers are retreating in this case. Since they got nothing there, they might have been crushed otherwise. Which would have been from there. Go still risking a lot there. Almost, but not quite. 100 points left of the BeardofSocrates again. Joe has been able to control the northern 2 victory points a bit too much. We've got L reconnaissance going in there. Panther 4 setting up. Pack 40 covering. Shot fire. Bounced. Sherman pulling back. Stewart being repaired. Almost hit the Sherman there. Stewart being repaired. Still. Pack anti-tanker setting up. Bounced. Sherman took a penetrating hit. Not good. Armor pistol runs in. Anti-tanker doesn't have resources for it. Panther 4 down to half health now. And in the centre we got a push here. Massive push. Sniper almost hit, but now we got the Osman on the spot. We only got the captain here to fire any serious anti-tank firepower there versus the Osman, but seems to be working slightly. Anti-tank it all up here. Men moving in from the east. Major almost wiped out. They're flanking the right enough, forcing him to pull in the force there. Again, need to spread out there. BeardofSocrates. At least they're taking damage. Could risk it if they're not careful retreating soon enough. They could get wiped there again. So many rifling with so many BRs. There you go. Concussive grenade on the one to poke the heads out too far. Looking for a wipe and oh, almost did it, but not quite. Ooh, could see it, rifle grenade following up the rifling for Elston firing in for the north anti-tanker, no way to be seen, armour neither. Then grenadiers though, there we go, one wipe. BAR dropped but not picked up, still men's out of there so he can replace the BAR. Whew, this is getting a bit tense. But BeardofSocrates is definitely a bit on the back foot here. Major rifle reinforcing, Sherman sending out, Stewart needs to get moving again. Pioneers on the way there for Jove. Moving those high explosives around, so there you go, Stormtroopers taking hits there. Not quite any stuff, it's not ordered, it's in your prioritised vehicles. A bit odd there really. Troops grabbing weapons, replacing them with the BARs they lost. Moving back over to the ambulance, troops here grabbing a BAR. I don't think any of them, looks like the Panzerschreck ones actually could grab it, so they got a G43's BAR and a Panzerschreck. Definitely some heavy equipment there. And we got another show on the way there for BeardofSocrates. Joe has yet to follow up with additional armour here versus him. Major sneak up the east again. Rifleman pushing up here with the captain support and another massive push here. Armour getting ready for another push. You could make 3 pushes. There's a chance here. I mean, 1 push in the centre, 1 pushing from the left flank, catching the self guard, perhaps with the armour. He has a small chance of it working there, though again he needs to spread out his infantry more. He's way too blobby there. Way too blobby. Anti-tank and also moving ahead. Osman being slightly pushed back. Pack cards are ready once more.
Crowds are taking one of our points.
Stewart moving up. Grenadiers pushed away. Osman rolling ahead.
Armor here.
What is BeardofSocrates planning? What is he planning here? Osman versus Sherman, rifle taking a few hits there. Looks like he's making the assault nonetheless, even with the wounded rifleman. Osman down to half health, pack out to firing anti-tank on this Panther 4 on the west flank. Armor piercing rounds to slightly went through, could use take aim there to increase range and line of sight. Sherman through the centre, got the pack 40 holding there in the east. Major going for the fuel point, getting assaulted here by Pioneers. Further victory points driving down, going for the central point here, pack out to covering. Sherman not supporting, stood here doing nothing. Still made some kind of gains, I suppose. Repairing any armour that needs to. Retreating from the centre, I wonder why that is. Another Panther 4 there on the way for Jove, and some Panther there stood moving in as well. Sniper needs to be careful, one wrong move could result in a quick shot there. And there we go, Stormtroopers rushing the centre. Rifleman taking losses. Pack out of firing. Not really close there. And there goes Sherman flanking, getting good hit in the Stormtroopers, almost half the unit wiped out. One hit more could perhaps do it. But it's not. Veterans one in the Sherman, which means he should probably keep some other armour near it, try to get its bonus there for increased rate of fire. Pack 40 blasting away there. Jove slowly losing grasp there. Sneak up some troops in the west. Stewart needs to get back there to deal with those chaps. Sniper still hanging about there, 35 kills.
Capture points.
Pack 40 taking a hit. Sherman being repaired. Stewart fixed. Needs to get that moving. Second Panzer here arriving for Jove and the Wehrmacht. There goes Sherman rolling ahead. Eugene finding way at those damn crowds. Anti-tank gun snipes poor Helmut, guarding him pretty viciously. So that tactical advance did not work out very well there for Jove. Panzer moving against the Sherman. Anti-tank gun though could support somewhat. And again, take aim would help a lot there. Take aim would help a lot. Stewart Sherman here not moving still. Panzer 4 charging in, needs to get the armour going, Take aim here would really help him. Again, would allow him to see without spotting for the anti-tank gun. There goes shots fired, but the anti-tank gun is now rather on its own, and it's going to get overwhelmed. Sherman not supporting, on the Sherman moving in. Might try and flank, but that might be into the pack for their line of fire. Almost got one Panzer 4 there, smoke popped. Still, he's going in, there we go. Veterans want increased rate of fire, and Panzer 4 down, one left to deal with two Shermans. Blitzing away though, Can he make it? Shots bouncing, all completely failing to hit. Either way, he got one Panzer 4. BeardofSocrates still has got a large arm advantage now compared to Jove. Round pushed back here by the Grenadiers with D43s and a BAR. Central victory point being lost again. Coming back the tanks, they're trying to desperately hold up. Needs to get the anti-tank gun back in action. Austrian once more moving forwards to cover the centre. To violently frustrate any American advances. And a Stug down set here for Joe, a Sturmgeschütz. Not bad. BeardofSocrates adding another tank. He's going to really have an arm advantage there up versus opponent. The so far needs to be using it a bit more aggressively there, I think, versus Joe. So far, it's not quite, I would say, getting the most mileage out of all those Germans he's already got. They're right close to each other, making an easy target for the Austrian. Halfway to Veteran 2 already. Bad news there for BeardofSocrates and his men. Stood almost Veteran 3. Entertaining the recruit, but under fire for the stormtroopers. Again, detects, allowing him to keep track of the arm, and there go both Shermans ready. Stewart push back here. Pack and Austrian fire, a bit of a nasty thing there. There we go, anti-tank gun entirely wrecked. Denying BeardofSocrates a bit of an anti-tank weapon. Stormgeschütz out in the field here. Stormtroopers on the run there, being hunted down with 50 caliber rounds and whatnot. And there goes Duke moving into the line of fire. Careful there, Jove. One wrong move, but at the same time, we've got the Panzer flanking, catching the Shermans now in a bit of a pincer maneuver. Nicely done, Stug almost down. In this case, it's working for the Shermans pulling back, ensuring they won't focus on the Stug anymore, but set on the Panzer 4. There you go, Sherman down, Venti 2 for the Panzer 4, allowing it to escape as well here. Damn close though for Joe. Had BeardofSocrates that just charged the Stug there, things for these are a lot different actually, but instead, I think he was rather banking on the fact again he would pull back in front of the Stug, and as the Panzer 4 was flanking him, allowing the Stug to just shoot more while the Panzer 4 would draw the fire. That was not badly done there by Joe at all, but again, it had its risk there, but worked because of psychology, essentially. Stormtroopers creeping forward. And really, Joe's always just been able to dominate in this sense in terms of victory points, which is a bit unfortunate there for BeardofSocrates. Stormtroopers going ahead. Aerial reconnaissance in there from BeardofSocrates. Stormtroopers under fire, pack house sitting up as well. Sherman almost done repairing. Closing in a victory 2 there. Sniper opening up. 38 kills. Rifleman captain moving ahead. Just blitzing forwards. A bit lumped up again. BeardofSocrates needs to be rather careful with that, I think. Sherman's rolling ahead there. Flanking. Storms almost wiped out. Sherman going through there now. He's got a full armor breakthrough. Pack 40 opening up. Needs to keep the Shermans moving. Needs to keep them moving. Don't stop up. Stewart moving in. Osman down. Stormtroopers almost right there. Stewart getting Veteran 3. Go for the Pack 40. Keep moving forwards. BeardofSocrates, don't stop up, don't stop moving, got the Pack 40. Spread out your men though, BeardofSocrates. Almost got the Grenadiers there, massive push there against Joe, but problem is making his men too easy targets there. He's not supporting them with armour, nothing. He's letting his men to die, BeardofSocrates, you silly bastard.
We just lost a unit.
Huge opportunity missed there, I think, against Joe. Panzer 4 rolling ahead there, Veteran 2. Need to crew that Sherman now. Stug firing up as well. Veterans 1, target weak point open. Need to use the stun shot there. Stuart to save the Panther 4 of the Sherman. But also maybe allow him to get the Panther 4 there. Stun shot, oh no, mine! Stuart got it off instead. Now the Stuart can't do anything. Anti-tank a bit too slow there. Stuart down. Sherman moving ahead. Needs. BeardofSocrates.
Just got destroyed.
Hack out the firing. Pull back the Sherman. Pull back the Sherman. That was a bit of a fumble there, I think, by BeardofSocrates. He had a golden opportunity there versus Jove, but failed to utilise it completely, and instead got rather his face punched into here by Jove quite severely. Jove more than eager to take advantage of any weakness here that BeardofSocrates displayed. So what initially started as a decent executed armor assault quickly lost any steam there, as he just bulldozing ahead. He stopped up in front of all the anti-tank weapons instead of just running past and following up with the infantry. Yeah. For that matter, again, he just keeps blobbing up his troops. Why, BeardofSocrates? Why? Wrecking the anti-tank gun there. Jove has no need for this American shizer. Storms over there just firing away. Major rapidly taking heavy damage out in the open. 25 points left for BeardofSocrates. This is very much looking like PG now. He could try and go for another Sherman, use the capture to speed it up, but I don't think that's going to happen here. Stormtroopers just continue to use that to do it there for cover. Veterans to flee both of them. Very nasty customers. BeardofSocrates men with light cover, if any cover at all, just getting cut down there by the Germans. Stuart firing away there as well. Infantry kills, 2 vehicle kills. Panther 4 fixed up. Troops reinforcing, and there we go, another Sherman.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Another attempt there by BeardofSocrates. Even as his points are ticking down completely.
The supply line just got cut off.
There goes Sherman rolling ahead there, quickly decimating the Grenadiers. That 40 is not been accrued, so in theory there's a small chance of BeardofSocrates. We can sort of just rush the armor, knock it out there while getting some of the victory points there, but it's nice to be careful about that too. Target weak point is the enemy there. We got another Sherman on the way. Panther 4, they're striking off. Most of the shots are still closing in half health. Their Pioneers right in front of it, taking hits there from the 50 calibers. There you go. Target weak point. Going for the weaker Sherman there, popping smoke right in front of it just to buy more time. Viciously done there by Joe, but works. Other Sherman not joining in the fray as soon as possible. Now it's just one Sherman there versus Panther 4 and a Stu. And the results are pretty quick clear here. Left to burn as well. Jove here executing a series of pretty mean maneuvers versus BeardofSocrates. Sherman with rifle major support, they're moving out. Pulling back. And now he's just sending in the Sherman on his own there. At this point it rather feels like BeardofSocrates kind of given up. Duke setting out again. Rifle moving forwards with a BAR 74-2 crew there now. In a pretty bad position. They're actually getting killed there. It might just not matter. We got the Stormtroopers just keeping watch of any vehicles with the detection ability. MB-42 there almost white. Major cut down though. Anti-tank on the way there for BeardofSocrates. Sherman repaired. Map those quickly losing everywhere. Stormtroopers getting back the eastern victory point as he's fighting desperately for the R1 and losing the west one as well here.
AT gun ready.
And an anti-tank gun out there for BeardofSocrates. Sherman sending out there. There's under fire and rapidly send running. Duke there, almost 50. There we go. Target weak point. Sherman forced to pull back. Veteran for the Duke increasing mobility and rate of fire. And there you go. Sherman almost down. Sliver of health left. Duke tries to hit there, but allows it to get away in the instance. But they're going to tank it setting up. Could just halt the Duke. Except the anti-tank is still moving about there. Allowing the Duke to bypass the anti-tank gun. There you go, drives right past everything, knocks out the Sherman, and then drives right past the anti-tank gun again. Ja, nice seeing you, mein Amerikaner Freundin. Thank you for letting me blow up your Panzer. That's a bit humiliating there, I think, for BeardofSocrates. Stormtrooping out, and there go tactical advance. Quickly gunning down that anti-tank gun crew there, mercilessly murdering them.
We lost a gun crew.
And with that, it's pretty much GG there. BeardofSocrates has been broken.
We're losing a capture point.
And there we go, GG. Game over. Victory for Jove here, victory for the Panzer there. It was close at times that BeardofSocrates managed to get the drop, Jove, but the problem was several times, partly his infantry management was rather poor. He kept resorting to blob tactics, which overall make them easier to lock down with, say, an Osman and MG42, incendiary explosive rounds, so on there, pretty much cutting out the effort of his infantry. He had a hard time coordinating his infantry with his armour at times, which also gave Jove there a bit more to work with, since he was better in getting the two elements to work together when he did have them. So there were several elements there tactically for BeardofSocrates, but that while strategically he was doing alright, tactically he was rather falling apart as the game went on. There, Jove just slowly bleeding out there, here and there, being good use of engagement, also dictating the pace of the match and where to fight. When there were several times, there was a huge part of the map there which BeardofSocrates could just blitz through and take most of the map there. So that was, I think, a bit of an unfortunate game here for BeardofSocrates. He tried his best, but again, Jove is a good player, but at the same time, BeardofSocrates really had some things they were doing I don't think he should be doing again. Blobbing, I think, was one of the primary one, made the Osvint much more devastating versus him than it otherwise would have, because he could just get so many kills and all those bunched up infantry. So that, I think, was one of BeardofSocrates' bigger mistakes. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gives you different matches. If it did, why not subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone, and of course remember to like it. If not, send a replay and provide some feedback in the comment section. If you do send a replay, do provide details like where you are on the rankings, leaderboards more specifically, how long the match is, who you are in the match, and so on. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers, thank you for watching. Up till tomorrow for another exciting match. Bye, everybody.